When we forget that we are one, suffering really begins. Every war, every argument, every act of cruelty, all of it begins in the same place. A mind that actually believes it's separate, that it is unique from everyone else. I mean, really, you can see it even now going on. Nations that turn on each other, religions that divide people, families that stop speaking for whatever reason, and in lovers who once adored each other, now they see only blame. The human story is the story of forgetting. Forgetting that the same life that beats inside of me beats inside of you. Forgetting that beneath the surface, all things are connected. All things are life. Welcome to Presence Without Practice, where we help you find lasting peace through presence, fast and easily. And if this message resonates with you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. It helps us reach more people ready to awaken. And don't forget to grab your free 5-minute HypnoPresence reset audio in the description below. It's a simple way to quiet your mind and return to peace anytime. When we forget our oneness, we stop seeing people as life. We start seeing them as forms, labels, categories, us and them. And when we stop seeing that living essence in another, we can justify anything. History is full of this darkness. Slavery, the Holocaust, war after war after war, atrocities that were committed not by monsters, but ordinary people who just could no longer see. Their minds had named, labeled, and divided until there was no humanity left to recognize in another living being. Now, I know some of you might not believe in a greater power, and that's fine, or a higher being, that's fine. But a friend of mine who is in Alcoholics Anonymous had said to me one time when we were talking about this concept, she said, our perspective is if you wake up in the morning and you're not the most important thing on earth in your mind, then you believe in some sort of higher power. That collectiveness of humanity. There is a cost of unconsciousness. That is the nightmare of separation. And yet, the same thing happens quietly even in our own homes, in our relationships. Every time we label, judge, or resent another person, we're participating in a smaller version of that same blindness, a private war. When you fight with your partner or a friend or your family, you're not really fighting them. You're fighting the image your mind has created of them, a memory, a projection, some story that you're spiraling up about it. But the person in front of you, they're not a story. They are life itself, the same consciousness appearing in another form. And when I say the same consciousness, I mean our collective consciousness appearing in another form. When you fell in love, you saw this. You weren't in love with a name or a body or an idea. You were in love with presence, the same life in another that lives in you. Then slowly your mind returned. It began labeling right and wrong, good and bad, should and shouldn't. It's stronger in some people than others, but it's there and it can erode relationships. And in that moment when you started profoundly labeling those people, judging them, putting forms on them, love became conditional. Peace became an effort, and separation returned. Most people are still asleep in this dream of separation. But they act in fear, desire, ego, pain, not because they're bad or evil, but because they're unconscious. Just like someone talking in their sleep. We don't get mad at someone for moving or flailing around or shouting in their sleep. We just simply understand they're not awake. The same compassion really should apply here. When someone lashes out, lies, or attacks, they're asleep in the dream of me and you. And the awakening response is not hatred. If you're awakened, if you are living a present life or moving towards presence, your response is understanding. It's seeing their unawareness clearly without joining in them in it or joining with them in the drama. To awaken really is just to remember that what has always been true, there is only one life expressing itself through billions of forms. So when you're present, you feel that. You don't feel put upon. The same stillness that moves through your breath moves through the trees, through the sky, through the stranger walking by you. It's all the same being, the same awareness, wearing different faces, but still the same, deep in our core. From that realization, all judgments fall away because there is no one left to judge, only life recognizing itself. This is the end of fighting, not because the world changes, but because we do. You no longer live in the noise of the mind, you live in the silence beneath that. Even as life waves crash around you, betrayals, disappointments, losses, the stillness underneath remains untouched. There will always be challenges in life. Even when you are living a very present life, there will always be challenges. When you act from that stillness, you don't react, you respond. You move not from emotion, but from wisdom. And sometimes when somebody is going on one of their rants that is unaware or unconscious or unawakened, however you want to portray it, your best response sometimes is to just stay silent, say nothing. You don't need to defend yourself because they're not hurting you. You don't need to respond because generally the only response you're going to give them just revs up the drama, like vroom, vroom, it's like kind of re-energizing it all. You don't need to agree. You don't need to be sarcastic. When you have that non-reactiveness, you move away from reacting with emotion. And like I said, you're handling it with wisdom, with understanding, with peace. And from that stillness within you, other people often begin to feel it. They sense something ancient, something real. They may not know what it is, but they recognize it as truth. There are some people that will feel very, their egoic mind will feel threatened by your stillness and peace. And they might get more angry, more annoyed, lash out more. But again, that is the waves of the ocean, and you have that peace, that depth that keeps you free from engaging in that drama. That's the power of presence. It doesn't preach, it doesn't persuade, it just simply is. And in its being, it actually does heal. If this message touched you, please like the video, subscribe, and share. If someone out there has forgotten who they are, this could be a great resource for them. You don't have to fix the world through suffering. You only have to remember that you and the world were never separate. I'm Dave vivus, and this is presence without practice. See you in the next video.